You don't have a motivation problem. You have an identity problem. And the worst part? You don't even realize it's controlling your entire life. Because if motivation actually worked, you wouldn't still be starting over every Monday. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. You wait to feel ready. You depend on bursts of energy and call it commitment. But that's the trap. Motivation feels powerful because it gives you permission to delay discipline. It convinces you that action should feel easy. So when it doesn't, you stop. Not because you're weak, but because you've been trained to quit the moment it feels uncomfortable. And that's where most people lose their entire life. Not in failure, but in inconsistency. Arjun was like that. Not lazy, not careless. Actually, he had big goals. He wanted to get in shape, build something meaningful, become someone he respected. And every few weeks, he would start. New routine, new plan, new version of himself. Day 1, perfect. Day 2, strong. Day 3, still going. Then something small would happen. He'd wake up tired, miss one workout, scroll a little longer than planned. And just like that, the entire system collapsed. Not instantly, but quietly. He'd tell himself, "I'll restart properly next week." And he believed it, because motivation always came back, but discipline never stayed. Here's what Arjun didn't understand. Every time he relied on motivation, he was reinforcing the identity of someone who only acts when it's easy, not someone who finishes. One evening, something changed. Not dramatically, no big speech, no life event, just a realization. Arjun noticed something uncomfortable. He wasn't failing because his goals were too big. He was failing because his system depended on emotion, and emotion is unstable. So he made a decision that felt almost wrong. He stopped chasing motivation completely. Instead, he created one rule. I do the work no matter how I feel. Not perfectly, not intensely, just consistently. And here's the part most people misunderstand. Discipline doesn't feel powerful in the beginning. It feels boring, repetitive, even pointless, because it removes excitement. But that's exactly why it works. The first week was uncomfortable. Arjun didn't feel inspired. He didn't feel driven. In fact, most days he didn't want to do anything. But he showed up anyway. Short workouts, simple tasks, no intensity, no perfection, just presence. And his mind resisted. It kept whispering, "This isn't enough. This won't change anything. You need to do more." But he didn't listen, because for the first time, he wasn't trying to feel productive. He was trying to become consistent. And consistency is quiet. There's no instant reward, no visible transformation, just small actions, repeated daily, which makes it easy to quit because nothing feels different. But something was changing, not outside, inside. Arjun was slowly breaking a pattern, the habit of negotiating with himself. Before, he would ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" Now, there was no question. There was only action. Weeks passed, still no massive results, no dramatic transformation. And doubt came back, stronger this time. Is this even working? This is where most people quit, because they expect discipline to reward them quickly. But discipline doesn't reward you early. It tests you first. Then something subtle happened. Arjun stopped thinking about whether he would show up. He just did. No debate, no delay. And that's when everything shifted. Not his results, his identity. He was no longer someone trying to be disciplined. He was disciplined. And that changes everything. Because when identity changes, behavior follows automatically. Now, the actions became easier, not because they required less effort, but because there was no resistance left, no inner argument, no emotional negotiation, just execution. And ironically, motivation started coming back, but it didn't matter anymore, because now he didn't need it. Here's the truth most people avoid. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is structural. Motivation asks, how do I feel today? Discipline says, it doesn't matter. And here's what sounds extreme, but isn't. You don't need more goals, you need fewer decisions. Because every time you rely on choice, you increase the chance of quitting. Discipline removes choice, and that's its power. Months later, Arjun's life looked different. Not because he worked harder, but because he worked consistently. His body changed, his focus improved, his confidence grew. But the biggest change? He trusted himself. For the first time, he believed his own commitments. So what does this mean for you? It means you need to stop asking the wrong question. Not, how do I stay motivated, but how do I remove the option to quit? Start here. Pick one action, just one, something small, clear, repeatable. Do it daily, no matter what. Not when you feel good, not when you're inspired. Every day, even when it feels pointless, especially then. Then remove negotiation. No maybe, no later, no I'll see. You either do it or you accept that you're choosing to stay the same. Track consistency, not intensity. Don't aim for perfect days. Aim for uninterrupted days. Because identity is built through repetition, not performance. And most importantly, stop restarting. There is no starting over. There is only continuing or quitting. Because the version of you that succeeds isn't more talented, isn't more motivated. They just stopped depending on how they feel. So here's the only question that matters now. When the feeling disappears, who are you?